What's going on? I was asked to come back and do a live Pistons chat with what's all going on today. We back. It's Motor City Sports Talk. It's your boy CJ Goodfella, usual suspect, man. And you know, grateful to have everybody on that comes on. And talking some Pistons, man. And definitely a team that's in a dark place. Ever since actually we had to, rebuild up from Chauncey and everybody else was going on. John Hannon, what it do, man? I appreciate having you on, brother. Everybody that come in, say something in the chat. I definitely appreciate for everybody on. I just went live on my other channel, so I'm not aware of what's going on with all the Pistons news, but I do know that Jason Kidd interviewed for the job, and I do pray that if they do hire Jason Kidd, it'll just be solely as a coach and not as both the coach and general manager. So we know John Beilein has interviewed for the job. We know a couple guys that's in the running for the GM position. Tajon Langdon from Duke and was a scout for the Spurs, and now he's assistant GM for the Brooklyn Nets. So it's a lot of different things going on with the Detroit Pistons right now, man. And just checking the news real quick to see if anything has changed. And nothing. Just talking about this Zeke Upshaw guy. I'm not super familiar about, his death and why he's suing the Pistons, though. I have to read into it and maybe we can speak on it. But, yeah, Jason Kidd did interview for the job. And just pray to God they don't give him everything they gave Stan Van Gundy, man. But, it ain't like we like ground zero. We don't have anything. Well, you talk about depth from top to bottom, we just don't have it, We just don't have it. You know what I'm saying? We need depth. And if you remember that 04 Piston team that won the championship, okay, it had depth. We had a starting five, a backup starting five, starting five, We had Corliss Williamson, Mehmet Okur, Mike James, Lindsey Hunter. You had a lot of different characters coming off that bench. You even had old Eldon Campbell, who served as the extra body for Shaquille O'Neal. So that's what you want in your channel, man. I mean, your team. You want depth. You want to have a starting five for a starting five, and you want to have the right mix. And what the Pistons did back in 04 to go on to work Pistons, it probably will never be. It'll never be that again. That was striking lightning striking in a bottle, man. And we all would love for us to build a team like that again, where we got Ben Wallace, from Orlando for a little bit of nothing. He ended up being a little diamond in the rough. We drafted Tayshaun Prince. We messed around and we got Rip Hamilton from the Wizards. Chauncey Billups was somebody nobody wanted, and him and Larry Brown just worked so good together. So you miss those days in Detroit where the Pistons definitely were popping. But you got to do it all over again, man. We got to do it all over again. And it starts with checking your roster. Do you believe that Andre Drummond is a cornerstone? Because you are paying him cornerstone money. Do you believe Blake Griffin is the guy that you need to take you to the next level? Do you think Reggie Jackson is the point guard of the future? And that's what you got to ask yourself. And when the GM come into this job, what type of control is he gonna have? Is he gonna have control where he's able to control the whole board? He able to trade who want to trade, or is he hampered? Is he handcuffed by Tom Gore? Is the question, man. It really is a question. And I think Tom Gore should just let whoever comes in and want to take control of this team do what they want to do, man. Seriously. And it has to be that way, man. You gotta let whoever come in make their own imprint on the team. And guys not gonna want to come in if they handcuffed, or they can't trade this guy, or they can't move that guy, they can't do this, they can't do that, or you want them to do that. If they want to do something, you should be able to let them do it, because at the end of the day, they the ones with the job on the line. So if my GM want to come in and trade Andre Drummond, and it's a good trade, then I'm gonna have to let him do it, because this is why I hired him to take our roster to another level. And that's what you're gonna have to have. Can they win with Andre Drummond? Absolutely. They got to put better pieces around him. He's improving. Let's say that Andre Drummond is improving. He is improving. And what else do you want from him, man? He's trying his hardest, but he's not the defender that Ben Wallace was. He don't bring that that intangible. He don't bring that heart, that soul. And nobody on the team does. We don't have nobody that has that energy, that heart and soul. Not just the defensive prowess. We need somebody that's a true leader, that's true gritty, that's going to do the dirty work, and that's going to be the heart and soul of this team. We don't have that. Drummond don't bring that intangible to the court. You know? At least he don't play with 100% energy every night. And it's hard to go out there and play 100% with energy every night in a losing situation. That's hard, man. You know, you go out every night knowing that you probably the less superior team and you got to scratch and claw just to be in it. That's tough to ask a 22, 23-year-old in Drummond to come in here and try to be the leader of this team through thick and thin and a lot of thin, you know. You know, that's difficult. It's difficult, and, you know, he can go somewhere else and flourish, though. He really could, because Andre Drummond with Cleveland, you know, Andre Drummond, you know, with a Philadelphia. I'm not saying Philadelphia because they already had a big man. But him with a Boston, him with the Lakers, in a better situation with more talent, he'd thrive. He'd probably be an all-star. He probably would be a huge all-star, but he's in this situation. And, you know, he probably want to see better days in Detroit because he wouldn't have re-signed with the Pistons if he didn't. Tom Gore's love him like a son. But Tom Gore's got to do Andre Drummond a solace. You know, he has to do Andre a solace by putting the right people around him in the front office. Because in my opinion, Blake Griffin not going to cut it, man. I'm sorry, man. Blake Griffin ain't going to cut it. And they got to move him. And if Paul George is truly talking about, you know, moving on from Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm definitely shooting Blake Griffin to Oklahoma City for dirt cheap, man. You know, I understand that the fans like to have a superstar, and I was on that track too, but at the end of the day, you got to have a winning team, man. You got to clear that cap space out. You don't know draft picks, no nothing. Reggie Jackson, you ain't going to be able to buy him out or trade him. I mean, he's stuck here until the next year. And when his contract is up and that $16 million contract is expiring next year, you can trade it next year and somebody happily take him. So it's about identifying talent. Let's start there. The Pistons has historically not identified the best talent in the draft. You know, maybe clear as day with Donovan Mitchell, Luke Kennard. Maybe clear as day with Devin Booker, Stanley, what's his name? Stanley Johnson. They haven't identified talent. You can go back as far as Darko Milicic, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne, Bosh. You have to hit on these picks, man. If you're going to be a middle-of-the-road team, you got to hit on the Giannis Antetokounmpos, not the KCPs. The Rudy Goberts, not the KCPs. You got to find the diamonds in the rough and the Draymond Greens, Isaiah Thomas. You got to be able to scout, man. And if I'm Tom Gores, I'm firing my entire scouting department, man. I'm firing them all. Seriously. You know, the scouting department in the Pistons, I don't know how much turnover it had on it from Joe Dumars to now, but there's no way in hell that we consistently keep missing on these picks, man. No way. That's what it started. And player development has been another terrible, terrible key for the Pistons since I can remember. They legitimately do not want to develop young talent, man. They have great players sitting on it, or good players sitting on their bench trying to develop that they don't want to let develop. Chris Middleton was on our bench forever. Went to Milwaukee, blew up. Spencer Dinwiddie was on our bench. He was a guy that came in with a lot of promise but had a knee injury, and that's why he slid in the draft. He put in some great starting minutes over there in Brooklyn. You know, great starting minutes in Brooklyn. And you can't tell me that Spencer Dinwiddie is not better than it's not better than Reggie Jackson, man. It's way better than Reggie, man. And that's the guy that was on the Pistons end of their bench. He's on the deep freezer in the bench for the Pistons, man. True deep freezer guy. Him and Aaron Aflalo was another one way back when. A guy that was on the deep freezer that finally got to play. Tayshaun Prince was another guy that was in the deep freezer. You can't think about being a great team if you don't develop young talent. And they haven't. Henry Ellison need to play a lot more this year. Why is Moreland, or was it the guy Moreland, playing over Henry Ellison? You ain't winning nothing this year, so why is he consistently getting more minutes? Why is Anthony Tolliver playing over, Henry Ellison? Well, I think the young guy from Marquette. I think that's his name. Why is he playing over him? He's tapped out his potential, We need to start developing these young guys, letting them play. The Pistons are letting rookies go to the G League and sit at the end of the bench when they're not going nowhere. Let them get this confidence. Let them get the use of the 82-game grind. You drafted them. You identified them. Let them play. You're not a winning organization. You're not a winning team right now. Stan Van Gundy, as if Jeff Dumars, they failed at player development. It's plain and simple. They didn't play these rookies. And then when they, then they go somewhere else and they blow up and they develop in another team. And that's heartbreaking seeing a guy like Chris Middleton that was on our roster forever go somewhere else, and he almost a borderline all-star. Spencer Dinwiddie. It's heartbreaking to see him go to Brooklyn and look like a way better point guard than Reggie Jackson. You know, and then you see him with Luke Kennard. He rode the bench earlier this season. He's finally got to go in. And you look over and you look at Devon Mitchell. You're like, what the hey? Like, come on, man. How did you miss Luke Kennard? How did you take Luke Kennard over Donovan Mitchell? Excuse me. How do you do that? How do you do that? There's no knock on Luke Kennard, but Donovan Mitchell was a 1,000 times better player. And Luke Kennard might turn out to be a good pro. And then they learned from taking Kyle Singler from Duke. You know, come on, man. Duke players ain't been hot in quite some time. Even Jabari Parker's struggling out here. So player development, man, whoever I hire as a general manager, man, president of basketball operations, whatever we call them, they better be able to identify talent and draft them. I need diamonds in the rough. I need clear cut prospects here, man. The ones that you can see they got the talent, and the ones that some people might not see got the talent. Talent. There's too many times that we done messed over players that should have been here. They go somewhere else and do better. You know what I'm saying? We tired of that in Detroit, man. All these diamonds in the rough passing us by, but you know, hopefully the GM that they choose, because obviously they wouldn't split ways with Jeff Bowers if they didn't have a GM in the waiting, man. You know, and then I'm hearing they do, and I think it's gonna be Tajin Langdon. Oh, what's up, Fox, man? We just talking in general about the general manager, Joe Dumars, Stan Van Gundy, the usual suspects that passing up great talent, you know, or hidden talent. They talking about the Dookie might be the general manager, Tajin Langdon. He was a scout for the Spurs, and he moved up to the GM spot in the Brooklyn Nets. But I'm just saying, we had Chris Middleton, Spencer Dinwiddie. Both of them is doing solid in the league right now. Chris Middleton is a borderline all-star, good shooter. We can use him. Spencer Dinwiddie is a better point guard than Reggie Jackson probably ever will be with the Brooklyn Nets until D'Angelo Russell came back and took his minutes. And it's like, man, I mean, it's one thing to pass up on talent like Donovan Mitchell, Melo, Bosh, Wade, Devin Booker, Rudy Gobert, Giannis Antetokounmpo. We passed up on for KCP, I believe. Was another one somebody mentioned the other day. I can't remember who it was. But, you know, passing up all these guys, that's one thing. But you drafting the right guy and then let him go to another place and blow up, that's heartbreaking. What's up, Detroit versus everybody, man? Hopefully we trade for a first-round pick. I mean, they're going to be hard to come by, man, first-round pick, man. Because this draft is, like, legitimately deep through the lottery. I mean, shit, you go Luke Doncic, you go DeAndre Ayton, Mamba guy from Texas. You go Trae Young, Michael Porter Jr. You go Marvin Bagley. You go Colin Sexton. I mean, it's very, very deep, man. It's a deep draft, man. It's a deep, and this was the wrong year to trade somebody for a draft pick, man. This was the wrong year because at 12, you could have got a really, really solid player, man. You know, and Stan Van Gundy, I just really think he was sitting here to mess us up, man. I think he was sitting here to put this franchise into the dirt, and that's exactly what he did. The Blake Griffin trade wasn't necessary, man. The Pistons wasn't going nowhere with or without Blake Griffin. Then he gets here and get hurt, man. You know, he gets here and get hurt, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. I'm gonna tell you how you can track. I can tell you how you can get a first round pick. Trade Blake Griffin to the Oklahoma City Thunder as soon as Paul George, as soon as Paul George, do his thing. As soon as Paul George say I'm going to Houston, or I'm going this place, that place, I believe that they should, they should shoot Blake Griffin over there because the Oklahoma City Thunder don't have too much of nothing, outside of, Melo, Paul George, and Westbrook. I think Blake Griffin going back home to Oklahoma City will be a good thing, man. And that's what they should do, man. But you got their big boy is DeAndre Ayton, Luke Doncic. He's a really, really good prospect from Europe. Marvin Bagley, Porter Jr., Jaren Jackson Jr. from Michigan State, Trae Young, Mohamed Bamba, whatever that guy's name, from Texas, Colin Sexton, Wendell Carter Jr., Mikal Bridges from Villanova, Miles Bridges from the Hornets, and then at 12, where the Pistons would have picked, they have a guy named Robert Williams from Texas A&M. And they got some good talent behind them. Guy from Kentucky, guy from Ohio State. So I mean, they could have got a solid player. It ain't as good as I thought it was gonna be. But next year will be another good draft, man. Next year they have Zion Williams coming out, so they had a pick next year. Stan Van Gundy probably knew he would be fired, so he traded our pick. Yeah, that could definitely be the case in the scenario. He probably did know he was gonna get fired, man, because he definitely messed this roster up, man. You know, on his way out, he basically like kicking the trash can over on the way getting fired and getting walked out the office, something like that. But like I said, man, the general manager, I think he should be hired first. The president of basketball operations, he definitely should be hired first. And then he should be able to be in on the hiring process for a coach. And I think they might already reached a deal with this GM type of guy, man, because they let go Jeff Bowers. And why would they let him go in the middle of a head coaching search? So they might have the guy, and they might be all working together to get the right coach in there. Do I think Jason Kidd is a good fit? No, I don't think he's a good fit for this team. I think somebody young and somebody that wants to make the imprint on the league is good for this team, because this team will have a lot of turnover and a lot of growing to do. I thought, I was waiting for them to interview Jerry Stackhouse. It hasn't happened yet. John Beilein, that was an interesting one. That was one from left field, being a Michigan fan. I don't know, first NBA run, why would you want to run with the Pistons? But maybe you just testing the water out, and plus going into the NBA, you got to move far from home. I mean, shit, I thought Beilein would be a lifer, just like Tom Izzo is at Michigan State, be a lifer at Michigan. They obviously they've been talking to Dwayne Casey. He's a veteran. He's a guy that actually did it before. He's took a team that was jack shit, excuse my language, in Toronto to be in the playoff, and still got fired because his players didn't want to perform versus LeBron. They were scared. So, Juwan Howard, Kenny Jet Smith is two other ones they considering. See, the thing about it for me is I don't know a lot about these guys, man, as far as they coaching and what's their background, and as far as in coaching. See, Kenny Jet Smith, he ain't never been a coach before. I don't know what offense that he's going to run. Juwan Howard, I don't know what offense, defense he want to run. I don't know his philosophy as a coach. I know him as a player. He was a strong character guy. He was a guy that got people respect. He was a guy who grandmother, I believe, died, while he was about to make a decision to go to Michigan. He's a strong character guy. He's a guy that, personally, I would want to lead my man into battle. I like Juwan Howard. Kenny the Jet Smith, he sound like he know what he talk about on TV, but we've seen it again and again. It's a lot of guys that sound like they know what they talk about on TV. Matt Millen was one of them. He sparked out, so and the GM. So it's a tough decision, man. I mean, Jason Kidd is a guy that been there, done that, been tossed around the league a couple times, I believe. But people tend to like Jason Kidd and give him full control. I kind of just want to trade players and tank so we can get Zion and Shaq's son. If we had those two with Drummond, it would be baller, but I don't know how it would work. Might want to trade Drummond too, man. You might want to, like Fox said, because Drummond, he been through the ringer with the Pistons, man. I'm sorry, man. He been through a lot of mental distress right now. I think he deserves to go to a contender, Andre Drummond. And I'll say, the best place to trade Blake Griffin is to Oklahoma City once Paul George get the hell up out of there. You trade him to Oklahoma City for a first-round pick or second, or just give him to Oklahoma City with a ribbon on him. He's from Oklahoma City. They want to continue to sell tickets. They want to be contenders. His right fit is in Oklahoma City. You trade him to Oklahoma City, man. Get that contract off your books. You can move Drummond to Boston. You can move Drummond to wherever you want to move him to. Clear that money off your books. Next year, you can trade Reggie Jackson when it's an expired contract, because right now, nobody wants that contract. And that's my thing. I would just strip this thing down and do it the correct way. Be a really, really bad team. Get good high picks. They never probably going to let the Pistons get the number one pick, but we can settle for 2 or 3 or 4. Make those right picks. And even if you had 2, 3, or 4, you're not making the number one pick. If you make the wrong pick, we can say, well, the Sixers or the Suns were above us and they took the guy we really wanted, so we settled for the next best guy. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way you got to do it. You got to strip this thing down, man, to be a really, really bad team. Seriously. And I think that's what they're gonna have to do. Got to strip this thing down, be a bad team, and do it that way, man. What's up, Mr. Penn? That's what I have to do, man. And they're not gonna win with Drummond and Griffin and Jackson being the core and taking up 85-90% of the cap space. That's not gonna happen. Truthfully, that's not gonna happen. And what they need to do is they need to trade those guys. And they need to get a general manager in. And they saying that the general manager, president of basketball operations, whatever you want to call him, he ain't gonna have the power that he wants. So Tom Gore's not gonna let him trade his son and Andre Drummond. He's still gonna be overseeing certain things, man. That sounds good. I like Drummond, but I would hate to see him go. But if he won a ring, it wouldn't be as bad. Pistons need to find a coach. How long do they need? They interview him, man. I mean, I'm not concerned about the coach. I'm more concerned about the president of basketball operations, because I would like to see him hired and be able to pick his own coach. But I suspect they might have already hired one, man. They're trying to hash a deal out with that guy about being, the general manager, and now they're going through coaches. They interviewed Jason Kidd, John Beilein from Michigan, Juwan Howard, assistant coach for Miami Heat, former Michigan alum. Then they interviewed Kenny the Jet Smith. He was a former Detroit Piston. So they doing their due diligence, man. They trying to find guys and trying to, plug them in and trying to build a team and build a nice coaching staff. But golly, the Tom Gore's not know what the hell he's doing, man. And this is gonna be a long process, man. Probably never in our lifetime we'll see the Pistons win again. We might not get to see that, man. But I pray that we can get it together, man. We can make the right moves and we just look up and get the greatest second round pick of all time this year. I wish the LA Clippers and the Pistons swap picks when they traded. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't do that, man. The Pistons gave up a lot, man. Avery Bradley, he was having this issue with the rape allegations, so that's why he got traded. Tobias Harris looked good over there in the Clippers. And after that trade, Doc Rivers got a contract extension. So, I mean, he still got Patrick Beverly coming back this year. He still got DeAndre Jordan. The Pistons really helped him out, man. The Pistons would have really helped him out. But, I mean, shit, we'll see what they're going to do, man. Maybe Jason Kidd or John Beilein. I'm really shocked at John Beilein for even listening, man. I thought he was going to be a lifer at Michigan. But maybe, like I said, maybe you want to move on and do bigger and better things, man. But I really don't know, man. They wanted to get rid of him anyways. Yeah, they want to get rid of him. So, I mean, I thought Avery Bradley was going to turn it around, and Tobias here, I thought that was going to be that core. And that team looked pretty good with the Morris twin, and the team looked good. I didn't think they really needed the Blake Griffin thing because Reggie was hurt. We had more depth as a team before we traded for Blake Griffin, and now the depth is gone. Especially before all that happened, they had a diamond in the rough on the team in Reggie Bullock. Imagine if Reggie Bullock would have got some playing time with Harris and Drummond and Marcus Morris and stuff of that nature. So, it is what it is, man. The Pistons do dumb stuff. He probably just did it so Michigan will give him a new contract. Possibly. He could have used that leverage. Michigan got more money than the Pistons. Yeah, Tobias is very underrated. He ain't the greatest athlete, but he can put the ball in the hole. He give effort on the defensive end. Looking at hindsight, I didn't like that trade, man. I didn't. I even like the tall guy, Mobang, the tall guy that was dancing with Tobias Harris. I liked him too. Oh man, pick up Cousins. They don't have no money for Cousins, man. They had to do a sign and trade for Cousins, man. They don't have no money. But Cousins probably would destroy the Pistons, man. Had a locker room fight, and Cousins need to go to a veteran locker room. DeMarcus Cousins probably need to go to like San Antonio. I don't know where. Somebody has some veteran presence, man. He goes some Boban. Yeah, that's right. DeMarcus Cousins goes somewhere in a losing situation. He's just gonna be crazy, get ejected, get thrown out. He needs to be in a winning situation, man. Certain guys that need to be in a winning situation. You mean the player or the coach, Isaiah Thomas? The player or the coach? You probably talking about the not the player or the coach, but the old Isaiah or the new Isaiah. Yeah, they can't trade Reggie Jackson. That's $32 million he owed. Nobody want him till next year when his contract's expiring, man. So, I mean, Reggie going to be here, man. I mean, that's that even guy I'm thinking about trading right now because ain't nobody going to be stupid enough to take Reggie Jackson. Even the Euro teams don't even want him. So, I'm just mad that I knew it was a mistake giving Reggie Jackson that money. I mean, Stan Van Gundy did some of these things intentionally, man. But, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Yes, it's sad. Yeah, it's sad to hear, but hey, hopefully we can get it together in the near future, man, and we can have some good luck on Detroit side, man. Because right now all we can count on is the Pistons. The Tigers, they trying to hang with the big dogs, but they ain't no big dog team, man. The Red Wings, the one consistent sports franchise we had, they just, they going through what great teams go through, and they going through a period of downtime, but they'll get it back up, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and hop off, fellas. I'm gonna come back and do another live chat, hopefully tomorrow, man, and hopefully some more Piston news come through. Appreciate y'all, brothers. We